trying to film, and my dogs won't shut up. If your name is Kelen Capener, and you are the bassist of the story so far, feel free to just like click out of this video. Don't watch it. Just don't watch the video, Kellen. Alright, so this happened when I went to Warped Tour 2014, and I went with my mom, my sister, and my dad. Lame, I know. Anyways, so we were going to see State Champs, just me and my mom, because my dad and my sister had gone off to see Issues, and at that time, I would have rathered see State Champs. So me and my mom went to go see State Champs, and I had on these State Champs sunglasses, and some dude came flying at my head and like knocked off my sunglasses and broke them. So whenever State Champs was done with their set, I went back kind of like looking for Derek, and I was like, hey Derek, after I found him, I was like, hey Derek, somebody broke my sunglasses that I just bought. Is there any way that I could get them switched out for a new pair? And he said, yeah, sure, we just played our set, and so why don't you come by the tent in like 15 and we can get them switched out for you. So me and my mom said that's okay, and we went straight there because we didn't want to wait in a long line. So when we got there, there were about like 15 people already in line, so we just kind of stood in the back. So next thing you know, we noticed somebody come around the corner, and he's wearing sunglasses, and he's followed with a bunch of guys, and I kind of like look at him, and I don't really realize who it is until I kind of look off just to my right, and I notice that the Story So Far's tent is right next to the State Champs tent. So I, like, instantly in my brain, the two click, and I'm like, that's Kelen Capener. Like, I looked over at my mom, and I kind of nudged her. I'm like, that's Kellen. And she goes, out loud, she says this the loudest she can. She says, now is that Kellen Quinn? I had to explain to her. You see, Kellen Quinn is in Sleeping with Sirens, and Sleeping with Sirens and the Story So Far aren't the same band, Mom. So I had to school her on this. And right as I say Kelen Capener, Kellen instantly, like, his focus was on his merch tent, but once he hears his name, he like shifts his eyes. He just looks over at us, and he goes, oh hey guys, but he was looking at my mom. My name is Kelen Capener, yeah. How are you? My mom, she is very blunt. She's a very blunt person. So she's like, it is so hot. You know, that Texas heat, right? And Kellen kind of looks at her, and he's like, oh yeah, I know. And then he kind of like stays there looking at us for a second, then he goes, I feel like I've seen you before, to my mom. And my mom's kind of like looking at him like, no? And Kellen goes, no. I'm 100% sure I've met you before. You were at Woodstock in 69, right? My mom's like, no, I'm too young for that. So, my mom goes, no, we haven't met, I'm sorry, no, I was too young for Woodstock 69. 69. And Kellen is like, yeah, okay. Alright. And my mom just kind of laughs it off, and then he holds out his hand for her to shake. At this point, I'm still, like, mentally freaking out, because, like, oh my god, the bassist of my favorite band is in front of me. And I stick out my hand, because for some reason, I didn't make the connection. He's shaking my mom's hand. My mom puts her hand out, they shake hands, and I'm like, oh, by the way, the Story So Far is my favorite band, and he just puts his hand down and he's just kind of staring at my mom, and he starts talking to her, like having a normal conversation. The merch guy looks at him, and the merch guy goes, Kellen! And he kind of like motions towards me, And so Kellen like rakes his gaze from my mom and looks over at me and is like, "Oh, hi. Glad you liked the story so far." And I'm just sitting there like, "Yeah. Yeah." So I talked to him for a second, told him, "Yeah, I really love the story so far." And I said they're my favorite band. I don't know, just, the usual, like when you meet a band member. I still feel like he was more engaged in the conversation that he had with my mom than with me. I asked him, "Hey, can we, like, take a picture together?" He took off his sunglasses, kind of did that number. Uh, that was the extent of our conversation, and we kind of walked away, like me and my mom, after we got the sunglasses from State Champs and everything. We kind of walked away, and, like, my mom, like, laughed about it. She would tease me about it. She's like, "Oh my god, he liked me more than you." And I'm just like, "Mom." So yeah, all in all, Kelen Capener was an interesting person, to say the least. And I've heard from other people that Kellen likes to flirt with moms. I don't know if he was intentionally doing it, but he did kind of have a thing going with my mom, and she's like 40 something. So make of that what you will. That was my story about how I totally was rejected by Kellen. With that being said, I'll catch you at Woodstock 69. To go get this the same day that I went to go get the story so far self-titled, so I basically went on a, like, manhunt trying to find these because nowhere was selling them, even though it said, like, "Oh, hey, this is the first day that it comes out," and I even went to Target, they didn't have it, so, but I eventually found this, got it the first day it came out, after going to, like, 3 different stores, but I have it, and then Paris, I got this at the Pierce the Veil, all-time low, I think it was? I don't know, Pierce the Veil, it was either Sleeping with Sirens and All Time Low. I don't know, I went there for Pierce the Veil, and I came out loving Paris, and so now I have this, and I don't know. Oh.